Good morning to our viewers out there. You're watching Dale Martin with Western New York at Work. And this morning we have another great conversation. I'm pretty sure you're going to be on the edge of your seats about the things that we're going to be talking about this morning. I have a good friend and a business gentleman that I met several years ago, Alan, who is with Alleyoop. Alan, welcome to today's show.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dale. Appreciate you having me on here.
So, Alan, tell us a little bit about yourself and describe Alleyoop, and for those who have never heard of Alleyoop before.
My name is Alan Halas. I am Director of Sales Development with Alleyoop. I've been with the company since September 2014. And like over the past 10 years, really had the pleasure and honor to drive revenue for companies like Discover.org, ZoomInfo, Adobe, Strixon Cleveland Golf. And back in the day, like when we met, we were called Inside Sales Team. We did a rebrand. We had some great new product offerings. And, our mantra is tied with grit and activity and effort and really a relentless pursuit of success for our clients. So that's the main thing. And, so like say if, someone out there were to apply and get hired today at Alleyoop, what they would do is they would be placed upon one of our clients and they would be a representative on there to generate revenue. And how do you generate that revenue? You would be setting meetings for that client through really strategic emails and phone calls and a bunch of different technology that we invest a lot of money in for our reps and SDRs to be successful.
Okay. And you've had a lot of success with the clients that you had just mentioned, like Adobe and Discover.org. Can you speak a little bit about the type of success you've had with them?
Yeah. So when I first joined the company, I was lucky enough that was my home for 4.5 years, representing Discover.org, ZoomInfo, which they got acquired. So now it's called ZoomInfo, powered by Discover.org.
Okay.
But it was cool because in the beginning, like they had only 2 sales development representatives on their end, and they hired Alleyoop to help grow their business. And now we're looking at 6 years later, and they are about to IPO soon, hopefully. And we've created literally over $10 million in revenue for them. So it's been a beautiful partnership and relationship.
That's outstanding, and congratulations for that type of success. I think it's important to mention that you're Buffalo based, but you work with clients all around the country. And again, can you give us just a few of the names of some of those clients or partners that you have?
Yeah, so right now it's always evolving too. We're always bringing on great clients from small to large. Strixon Cleveland Golf, a company called Wachter Healthcare, just a lot of really great clients like UST Global, and then they have a bunch of other smaller companies underneath them like Moonraft and Blue Concha and Abzuba. So that it's really, really, really an exciting time.
Being familiar with the organization, I can speak to this myself personally. It also starts with having not just great talent, but having a great culture. And I think Alleyoop is a prime example of that.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So our CEO, Stephen Hayes, and myself were like, all right, how can we really cultivate the culture and make sure that our employees are engaged? So a couple of years back, 2017, we actually created the role called CFO, not Chief Financial Officer, but Chief Fun Officer. So literally that was my role to make sure the culture is taken care of so that we're doing potlucks and fun events to keep our employees engaged, because I mean, that ties into performance as well. If people are happy, they feel like they're part of something larger than themselves, then they're going to feel welcomed and want it to. It'll tie into performance for sure.
Yes, that chief fund officer, I think, is very, very important to any organization, because in order to keep the employees engaged in the office, but outside of the office, I think speaks to the spirit and the mission of Alleyoop.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a crazy time with everything going on right now in the world, this pandemic affecting literally thousands of companies. So we've actually, since we last spoke, we decided to take the company 100% remote permanently. So we got rid of our office, and even after this pandemic settles, we'll still be working from home.
With that type of restructuring, and this is something that's going to be applicable for many industries and companies across the country. Were there positions that you determined that were just really no longer needed as a result of this restructuring?
That's a great question. So for us, we've been really lucky. We did have to do a couple things, but for the most part, like we are still performing at a very high level for our clients. Um, you know, we're everyone's been affected, but I would just say that we're lucky on our end in the type of business that we're in.
Okay, good. And let's talk about for anyone that's looking for career opportunities. Is Alleyoop currently still in the recruiting mode? Well, I guess let me come back a little bit. After this epidemic is, after we've kind of ridden the wave a little bit, will you be looking to, continue hiring?
Absolutely, yeah. Once this pandemic is settled down, we're going to be looking to hire a lot more people. That's for sure. Because going remote too, we're not just stuck to just Buffalo. We can hire nationwide now and globally if we want.
Okay. What are some of the things that, from a recruiting standpoint, because there are individuals that are watching today's show and they may have had a bad interviewing experience. They may not have had the opportunity to interview with a company that has a chief fund officer. So for candidates that are looking for great career opportunities, what do you like to share with those potential candidates?
I think it really depends on the interviewer. For one, like every recruiter interview is going to be different. Like for me, when I like my process of interviewing, we use a great recruiting platform called Gritseed, and it does a great job as far as like we have the candidates upload videos so we can really get a better idea and understanding of their character. But my process is after watching that and that's all good to go, I'll have them come in to office, which now it'll be Zoom, interview them, and really I want to connect and find out about that person as far as what is truly important to them and tell them about the SDR role. I mean, if we're talking about characteristics, what are the most important? I think grit, the like just being motivated to wanting to be successful and just make great things out of your life. Like it's performance driven. The SDR role is definitely tough and challenging, but if you are money motivated and you're hungry and you want to be successful, then it can be very rewarding. And as long as you're coachable, a lot of people pick onto it pretty easy.
And I like that reference to being coachable because individuals, it sounds as if they can bring some transferable skills. They may have worked in automotive for a number of years, and because they have those customer service skills, those sales development skills, they may be able to transfer those skills over to an opportunity with Alleyoop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like a lot of our top performers are actually, they come from the restaurant business, whether they're bartending, bar back, but we just have, great performers from that demographic.
Well, you've mentioned grit a couple of times, so that's probably one of the key words that I'm taking away from this conversation. You have to be hungry. You have to have that grit, and I'm hopeful that candidates can not only hear your message but feel your passion for how he or she can exceed during the interview process.
Yeah, you have to be hungry, but you also have to be good with rejection too, because the type of people we're talking to are very high level executives. So depending on what client you're representing, it could be a VP of sales, it could be a VP of marketing. Like you're gonna have to talk to these people, and they're very busy. They could be in a meeting when you call, and they're like, "Oh yeah, just call me back tomorrow," or follow up with an email. And we teach and coach different strategies to overcome that, to keep the conversation going and to get that meeting.
Sounds like the sky's the limit for the right candidate because you can place their skill sets, again, going back to transferable skills, with one
Yeah.
of your clients that actually there's a correlation in the marketplace that they have.
Yeah, that's a great point. So we have a client called Jetpatch, and they're reaching out to CISOs and high-level IT security individuals. And the person we have on there right now, James, actually has an IT background. So when he's navigating those conversations, it's much easier to turn that into a meeting because he knows what he's talking about. He has the experience and he'll know what to say.
Okay, excellent. I tell you, again, knowing the type of organization that you've been running for quite some time and seeing, in fact, knowing some of the fellow employees, I feel like I have a good sense of what the company is looking for. Recently, a couple months ago, you were at a job fair, but I think it was called something else, and it was in conjunction with 43 North. What was that experience like in terms of the candidates that you're starting to see in the marketplace?
That's a great question. I've been a part of many job fairs, and that 43 North job fair was by far the best recruitment event we've ever been a part of. We had literally, I think it was 97 candidates apply, and like the majority of them were really high quality. So, I'm really excited to get going and really following up with these people once we go back into hiring mode.
Okay, and in addition to that, once you get back into hiring mode, how can individuals stay abreast of the opportunities that you do have or will have?
Yeah, I mean, they can go to our webpage, Alleyoop.io. They can find me on LinkedIn, Alan Halas, and reach out to me personally. My mantra is I love giving everybody a chance. Everyone has potential, and I mean, if you're not meant for the role, you're not meant for the role. But as far as an initial conversation and interview, like I'm super open. Like I want to meet people, I want to talk to them and really dig in, dive deep, and see what's important to them, and see how they can bring value to our company.
Okay, great. Very quickly before we come to the close of our conversation, please provide your contact information for anyone that's looking for a career opportunity or is looking for a marketing and technology-based solution that you provide.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Alan Halas, ALLANHALAS. You can go to the website, Alleyoop.io, reach out, fill out a form on there, or pretty much any, it doesn't matter, any form of contact. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm more than open. So.
Okay, excellent. And any parting thoughts? Is there any area that you would like to touch on that we haven't maybe given any credence to at this point? Any final words or thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, my heart goes out to anyone who was laid off, fired, furloughed. It's an unbelievable time that we're in, and it is a tough time. We're all in this together, and it really. We'll see how things go and when this ends, but we just need to stay strong. We'll get knocked down, but we'll be right back in. And anyone who did get laid off, furloughed, once this is over, please come see me because there will be opportunities. You get knocked on the chin, you get knocked down, but you get back up stronger than ever.
I love your competitive spirit. Here at West New York at Work, we thank you so much for your time. Continue to grow. I know you're going to do that no matter what. But I like what you said. It's time to move forward, and it's rewarding to know that there's a company here in Buffalo that's helping candidates as well as businesses kind of rethink and re-strategize what they need to do moving forward. Because we're all in this together, like you said.
We are.
Okay, Alan. Thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and West New York at Work will be in touch.
Thank you very much, Dale. It was a pleasure.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Lewis with Western New York at Work and a partner at Staff Buffalo, and I wanted to come and say hi to everyone today to talk about career tips. Now, I know we're all in a very uncertain time, and maybe you're not sure about what the future holds for you for your job. Maybe your job is set in stone, but this is a really good time since many of us are at home and working from home every day to kind of maybe do some things that you thought you wanted to do in the past. So I wanted to give you some career tips on things that you could be doing while you're home. The next tip I want to give you is LinkedIn. Now that we're all really working remotely, it's a great time to dive into LinkedIn if you haven't in the past. It's such a great tool for professionals to build their network and show people who they are and what they've done throughout their career. I love LinkedIn. I probably use it every single day in some capacity, but it's a great resource. So it's a take the time now to update your LinkedIn profile. Add a picture, add your job description, build your LinkedIn profile from your resume. So if you've updated that resume, it's ready to go, and you can take that information to update your LinkedIn profile. Connect with people in your industry. That's a great way to kind of see what's happening within your industry and start building that online network of people who have similar interests to you, similar background, similar work history. Maybe it's someone whose career you've admired and you want to follow them and follow the trajectory. Connect with them. Send them a message. It's a great time right now to connect with people virtually. Post and share articles. So if you've written an article, if you're online and you see an article that you find interesting and relevant to your industry, to your career, to your geography, share it. It's a great way to share information with people out in your LinkedIn network. And if you see any other people who have posted articles, comment on it, like it. Right now, because we are so remote and virtual, that connection through LinkedIn and through online platforms is huge. So it's a great way to continue to build your brand on LinkedIn.
Western New York at Work is brought to you by our key business partners and many business professionals, including Bocce's Club Pizza, Staff Buffalo, Buffalo Healthy Living, CAI Global, Hope Buffalo, Embassy Suites Hotel, and 716 Limousine. Welcome to Western New York at Work. I'm your host, Dale Martin, and we have with us Alex Enser, who is with MyCryptoAdvisor. Alex, welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much for having me, Dale.
Great. I tell you, I can't help but tell you, I love that background.
It's Buffalo right now.
It's okay.
Which part of Buffalo are you in?
Well, you're gonna have to give me that. You have to give me that address so I can GPS it, because palm trees in Buffalo and beautiful blue water. That's where I want to be.
You and I both. Let's give it a few more months.
Okay. Well, Alex, share with our viewers a little bit about who you are and the type of work that you do.
My name is Alex Enser. I own MyCryptoAdvisor, and I basically educate people on blockchain and cryptocurrency. And I do webinars every other week. And I just basically cryptocurrency is the future. And I just try to give the mom and pops, just try to help walk them through it, simplify it. Because, you know, whenever people are listening to the news, they're hearing all these buzzwords, Bitcoin, blockchain, but I like to try to break it down for people, make it easily accessible.
Some everyday companies that we're familiar with, Starbucks, Facebook, there are everyday companies that have been making an announcement that they're going to have their own version of cryptocurrency. Can you speak to that as well? Because I think the more familiar we are with some company names, the more we can identify with how to use it and go from there.
I'm glad you asked. So, for example, Starbucks, they're going to start accepting Bitcoin payments sometime this year. And they're basically also putting their coffee beans on the blockchain. So in the future, you'll walk into Starbucks, you'll take out your cell phone, you'll scan the QR code on your coffee beans, and then you'll be able to trace what farm that coffee bean came from, where it just every part of it, the farmers that made it, if it's organic, and then every place it stopped along the route. What maybe if it went into a factory, what trucks it went into, all that data is now going to be a part of that coffee bean when you scan it. And it just adds a level of transparency to our everyday goods that we use. The really revolutionary part of this is blockchain technology. So blockchain it's a borderless ledger. So imagine your checkbook and how each entry goes back to the very first check you wrote. That's similar to what blockchain is. It's just been developed for 12 years now, and it's going to revolutionize every facet of your life in ways you can't even fathom yet.
Why use blockchain technology? Because I think if we compare that to some of the descriptions that you provided, it'll just kind of give us an even deeper understanding.
So the great thing about blockchain, it's decentralized. So Right now, all our services are centralized. So when you use Facebook, you have to ask permission from Facebook to access their services and data. The same thing at the bank when, let's say you bank with JP Morgan, you're asking permission to use their services. With blockchain technology, if the internet takes out 99% of the servers in the world that are running this network, it'll still be running because the 1% will still be able to run it. Whereas right now, let's say Facebook, if Facebook goes down, if that one entity, that one centralized entity goes down, you don't have access to your data, their services. So this is actually a safer way of doing business. Even.
Okay, yeah, that certainly helps me because now I can visualize multiple means of internet traffic all over the world on a global level. So as you mentioned before, if one network goes down, it doesn't affect, it doesn't stop transactions from occurring.
The beautiful thing about, let's say, Bitcoin, all you need is a cell phone. With a cell phone, you have access to banking services. So, for example, there's over 1 billion people in the world that don't have access to savings accounts, checking accounts, things you and I take for granted. But now, thanks to blockchain technology, they could have all these banking services right on their phone. It's basically your wallet. Your phone can be your wallet.
Okay, so my phone, go there because I think that's so interesting that my cell phone is the starting point for me to be, for me to be able to have banking services that at one point in time were no longer, well, they were not available for certain individuals in certain third world countries. So by virtue of having a cell phone, I can open up a cryptocurrency wallet.
Imagine pressing a button on your cell phone that shows a QR code. If you want to send or receive cryptocurrency, it's all done by a QR code. So Dale would pull out his crypto wallet, I would pull out my crypto wallet, which is on our cell phones, and we would scan QR codes to exchange money.
Well, thank you so much for that explanation. I tell you, I can't help but think about the fact that right now between cryptocurrency and these electronic cash apps that are out there, and I think there's one called Cash App, where there's an app that's on your phone. This sounds like it is really the equivalent. Cryptocurrency is the equivalent or variation of that.
And unfortunately, Cash App still uses the banking system. I mean, how long does it take somebody for their money to clear? With cryptocurrency, it's instantaneous. So basically, I could send $1 million to China in as quickly, cheaply, and as easily as me giving you $10 down the street from me.
That's fascinating. A very rapid economy that we live in, which speaks to attending any one of your webinars before you make the investment. I think a word of advice, along with caution, would be to attend one of your webinars. Speak to the types of webinars that you're currently doing.
Oh, yep. So actually, this coming Wednesday, I'm doing my webinar. It's called Bitcoin and Modern Finance. So it's going to break down. It's going to basically teach you how Bitcoin works, why it's relevant, and even a little bit on how this current financial system works and why Bitcoin or any other digital currency might be better than that.
In fact, I believe there's the United States government has recently reported that as a country, we're going to be looking more into the cryptocurrency markets.
Yeah, that was fascinating. In the coronavirus stimulus package, in the initial package, in the draft of the package, House Democrats proposed a digital dollar. So basically, Americans would all have digital wallets with the Federal Reserve Bank, and they would directly just deposit your stimulus money. So, if you were a single adult, you get your $1,200. That would have went directly into your digital dollar wallet, and it would have bypassed actually commercial banks altogether. And then the other interesting thing I found in this bill was that they were going to change the role of the post office. The post office was actually going to help people set up their digital wallets and then also have an ATM at the post office if you want to, take.
So, Alex, can you speak to how COVID-19 is affecting today's climate? Good, bad, and indifferent?
It's great. There's actually a lot of blockchain projects right now that are addressing the COVID-19 issue, and future pandemics. So for example, right now, the Red Cross in Italy and the Dutch and Italian Red Cross are accepting donations in cryptocurrency, and they're using that to fund medical supplies for people suffering with COVID-19.
Okay.
And then also the blockchain, basically the Dutch government and a Dutch consortium known as Tech Against Corona, they're currently working on putting the entire medical supply chain on the blockchain. What this would mean is that you're going to be able to study the supplies, monitor the medical supplies all over the world on the blockchain. So, and you'll be able to see these shortages in real time. So when they're sending out orders of masks, of ventilators, of gowns, they'll know specifically where to ship that order out, just because they'll know where the shortages are in real time with blockchain.
And once again, Alex, for anyone who has any questions and would like to reach you, what's your contact information?
You can always email me at support at MyCryptoAdvisor.com. You can check out my website at MyCryptoAdvisor.com. And I especially advise everyone to find me on Facebook, so you can sign up for my next free webinar, MyCryptoAdvisor on Facebook. And it'll have all my seminars coming up. I also have a seminar coming up about the decentralized internet later in the month as well.
Okay, sounds like you have a lot going on. How often are you putting on these video seminars?
At least every other week or once a week.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you very much, Alex. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll speak soon.
All right, you as well. Thank you, Dale.
Western New York at Work is brought to you by our key business partners and many business professionals, including Bocce's Club Pizza, Staff Buffalo, Buffalo Healthy Living, CAI Global, Hope Buffalo, Embassy Suites Hotel, and 716 Limousine.